Hi everybody, my name is Jeremy Hardy. I am proprietor of Hardy Shave Products. Today I want to do a demonstrational video on how to shave with a double-edged razor. So first of all, I'll go over some of the tools that I'm using. I'm using a double-edged razor. This one in particular comes from magardrazors.com. It's their MR10 model. I am using Astra stainless superior razor blades. I'm using, of course, my own Sweet Orange Tea Tree, another one of my favorites. That's the soap. This one is the pre-shave oil. I'm not sure if you can see it. My camera's not too great, but hopefully you can see it pretty well. I'm using Sweet Orange Tea Tree Aftershave Lotion. I'm also using Razor Rock Alum. This one, I like this one. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's got the applicator, so I'm a fan. And then of course I'm using Parker Best Badger hairbrush and my handy dandy Philippines mug. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is prep up our face to get our stubble ready for the best shave possible. So we can achieve that by either showering or we can wash our face. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to pour some hot water on it and soak my face for approximately 1 minute. So you just get this towel nice and wet, nice and hot. I know you can't see it right now. Don't really need a demonstration of that. I think you can figure that out on your own. And wring it out just a little bit. You don't want it soaking wet. And then you're going to cover your face. So after about 60 seconds of the hot towel, next thing we'll do, we'll take our pre-shave oil. You don't need much. A couple of drops in the hand. A little splash of water. Rub them together and just massage it into your face. What this does is going to soften up the beard, soften up the stubble, and by pushing the stubble around, preferably against the grain, it'll actually lift the hairs up a little bit, which will make it a little bit easier to shave. And we're done with the face prep. Good face prep will ensure a comfortable shave. So now we're going to load up our brush. So we're going to take our soap, take our brush, and pretty much just like I demonstrated in the previous video, we're going to swirl clockwise, and then we're going to swirl counterclockwise. Once you start seeing a little bit of that lather building up, we're going to start varying our pressure. As you can see, we're already building up a little bit of pre-lather. We're going to keep going. And this should be done for about 30 to 45 seconds. Honestly, I don't see it any reason to go beyond 30 seconds because this is already coming pretty loaded pretty well. Alright, see, we got pretty good pre-lather going already. And once your brush is loaded, you are ready to lather. So now we're going to build up our lather. The last video showed you how to do it using a bowl or a scuttle, but today I'm going to do a face lather. That's my preferred method. So I still got this oil on my face, my beard's feeling nice and soft. What I'm going to do is I'm going to splash some more water on my face just to get it wet. I'm going to take my brush. I mean, you would almost think that this would be enough lather already just from the pre-lather. I'm just going to go ahead, swirl it around, and start doing the clockwise motions and the counterclockwise motions, much like you would do in the bowl. Varying the pressure. Of course, I'll get my mouth here in a minute. badger hair brush holds a little more water than the boar bristle brush that I had, so the lather is actually building up pretty nice so far without having to add any water. However, it is feeling a little thick, a little dry, so I'm going to dip my brush into my handy dandy Philippines mug with the hot water, which I use to soak my brush, and thin out the lather a little bit. As you can see on my face, the badger hair brush tends to shed a little more, actually a lot more, than the boar bristle brush. This one in particular does anyway. I'm add a little more water. And then when I feel like I got a pretty good lather going, I'm gonna do some paint stroke motions. This will not only spread out the lather a little more even, but it'll pick up the clumps of lather. And this brush shed quite a bit, but as you can see, pretty good lather, definitely enough for a three pass shave. And now for the shave. I'm gonna wet up my brush. And I'll be doing 3 passes. I'm going to go with the grain, I'm going to go across the grain, I'm going to do another across the grain. So the first across the grain will be ear to chin, the second across the grain will be chin to ear. A lot of people on their 3rd pass, they like to go against the grain. I don't recommend that for beginners unless you feel like you've got a really great shave doing your first 2 passes and you think your skin can handle it and you think you're skilled enough to do it. But for people like me, I have a pretty sensitive neck. So I almost never go across the grain unless it's in specific areas of my face that I know will handle it okay. Got hair in my mouth. So I'll do the first pass. The best way to do it is to kind of divide your face into sections. So I always start with this side first when I'm doing my first pass. And as you can see, I'm doing short strokes, and then I'll flip the blade, more short strokes. Now the key, especially if you're a beginner, or always really, is let the razor do the work. Now a lot of you who might be used to the cartridge razors, you got to really push down, you know, to get that close shave. If you push down with this, you are going to scrape your skin pretty bad, and you're probably going to bleed. So, if you have a nice quality razor, it should have some pretty good heft in the handle. So you're just setting the blade. You're setting the blade. The best way to get the angle, you want to go 30-degree angle. So you start perpendicular, and then you go get your 30-degree angle. The key is to have this top bar and this bottom bar aligned with the skin, and then as I was mentioning with the pressure, let the razor do the work, let the weight of the razor. You don't want to apply any pressure. And of course, as you move down the contours of your face, you want to adjust your angle. You want to maintain approximately 30 degrees. Like I mentioned, you can see I'm dividing my face kind of up into sections. So I'll do this section, and then I'll do this section, then I'll go up here, then I'll do here, and then I'm going to go the other side now. For some reason, you can do this however is comfortable for you, but for whatever reason I always save my chin for last. The hardest part maintaining your angle is when you get in these nooks and crannies around your jawline and around your chin. apologize if I'm moving my head out of the way, not always cognizant of the camera. Another key thing is when you're doing your passes is once you've shaved over, don't go back until you've applied new lather. So like I can tell right here, oh, I didn't get as close as I wanted to. That doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and try to scrape at it. No, I'm gonna leave it because I know I'm doing 2 more passes. It's a hard habit to kick. I still find myself doing it. You probably just saw me do it right now. I went over this area twice. You know, it's pretty easy to do it, but try to keep that in mind. And I did it again. If you're anything like me, you'll find yourself making faces at yourself, trying to make, you know, your chin and your cheeks contoured to the razor. There's nothing wrong with that. So we're gonna rinse. Just a real quick rinse, and we're gonna apply another layer. Just use some paint strokes. There's really no need to do these circular motions. You've already built your lather. You've already got plenty for this pass and your 3rd pass. So no need to go through all that trouble again. There's so much lather it's falling off. Like I mentioned in my last video, I tend to like a little bit thinner lather, so it will run off of my brush a little bit. Some people like a really thick lather, may not have so much of an issue with the thicker lather, with it just, you know, falling off your brush or running down your chin. So 2nd pass, going to do across the grain from ear to chin. My 1st pass I started on this side. My 2nd pass I started on this side. Don't know why, I just do it. So I'm going to hold it sideways again. I'm going to get that angle, 30 degrees, and go across. Once again, you're dividing up your face into sections. And then on my 2nd pass, I find myself having to pull my skin taut this way, so I can get that jawline easier. Otherwise it becomes difficult with the weird angle. Again, I'm making faces at myself. Now I'll get the other side. Do another rinse. For most people, 2 passes is going to be plenty, and in most cases I actually do 2 passes, but I'll show you a 3rd pass. Now, a lot of people like to achieve what they call the baby butt smooth skin. takes a little bit of practice to get it. And I remember the first time that I got that baby butt smooth, pretty happy with myself. And then an hour later, I saw all these bumps showing up, these razor bumps on my chin. I'd gotten it so smooth that I was getting ingrown hairs. So baby butt smooth feels really good, but it may not be the best thing for your skin, especially if you tend to have more sensitive skin or you're prone to irritation and razor bumps to begin with. All I'm really looking for is a comfortable shave that takes the stubble off. Alright, so now I'm going to go across the grain from chin to ear. I'll start down here. This is one of those rare places that I can go across the grain. Once again, dividing up my face into sections. I'm not very ambidextrous, so I tend to do most of my shaving with my right hand. You just kind of find what works for you. Alright, do one final rinse. I always go over with my hands just to see if there's any place in particular that needs some work. I didn't get close enough. It seems pretty good. So, bristle hair. There it is. So now I apply the alum. This is our post shave. So the alum. Best thing to do is apply it while your face is still wet. What the alum does is it's an antiseptic, so it kills bacteria and bad things, but it also helps close up your pores. And it if you have these micro abrasions or micro nicks, you know, ones that don't bleed, but they're still there, they actually help seal those off. As you can see, I got a little bit of red right here, kind of caught myself. It's not bleeding, but this will help close that up. Now you'll know when you have those micro abrasions because when it goes over your face, it stings. So I got the alum on my face. I'm gonna rinse it off eventually, but while I'm doing that, I'm gonna clean up my mess and put my tools away. I would point the camera down to show you, but I think you can figure out how to put your own stuff away and clean it up. So I'm just rinsing out my brush, squeeze it out, shake it, rinse out my mug. Rinse off my razor. Oh, I forgot to mention the razor blade I'm using are Astras. I'm using the Superior, oh I think I did mention that, the Superior stainless. I find with Astra blades, and also Gillette blades, I tend to get about a week out of them, 5 days or so. Other blades that I use, I'll get 2 to 3 shaves out of them, so that's pretty good though. I mean, blades are usually, in most cases, cheap enough that if you really wanted to, you could throw your blade out daily and not even come close to how much those cartridges cost. Alright, so I got my sink and whatnot, tools kind of wiped up, so I'm gonna do a cold water rinse and get this alum off. Tap myself dry a little bit. The next thing I do for post-shave is witch hazel. This is a natural astringent and toner. Similar to the alum, it also goes and closes your pores up. But I find I like witch hazel, especially when I first started with the double-edged razor shaving, is my neck would get really irritated and I would get razor burn all up in here, which I still do sometimes. And the witch hazel really alleviates that, and that burn will go away within minutes. Whereas when I first started shaving with the double-edged, that burn was lasting all day. The downside to witch hazel is it smells. It's not my favorite. It kind of reminds me of cat pee. However, it does evaporate, and the smell goes away completely once it has dried. So I let it dry off of my skin. Doesn't take long. And the next thing I apply is lotion. So, Aftershave Lotion with Avocado. It does not take much. You do not need much at all. This stuff goes a long way. These 2 kinds of oils in this. Rice bran oil, which absorbs pretty well, pretty quickly, and the avocado oil, which has a moderate absorption rate. Takes a little bit of massaging into. But both of these are skin-loving oils. Lots of vitamins and oxidants and great things. And then the calendula extract and the buckthorn extracts really help to alleviate any kind of razor burn or razor bumps that you have. And there you go. That is how to shave with a double-edged razor. Of course, using my own products, but any products will apply to this. So, thanks for watching.